When it comes to sound quality and active noise cancellation, Sony kind of knows what's up, especially with their high-end devices like the WH-1000XM4s that I have right here, which have some of the best active noise cancellation available, and not only that, they sound amazing. And these are the WF-1000XM4s, which share a lot of the same features as these, just in a true wireless earbud variety. And I'll tell you, just like their over-the-ear counterparts, these sound phenomenal. These are seriously some of the best sounding true wireless earbuds I've ever used. But my curiosity with these is how they perform for sports and fitness, because one of the new features of the XM4s versus the XM3s is that these are IPX4 water resistant, and they're also a little bit smaller. So in today's video, I'll be going over all the features of the WF-1000XM4s, including the sound quality, noise cancellation, transparency modes, as well as the fit, security, and overall usability of these for sports like running, cycling, weight training, and high intensity interval training. And if the information in this video does help you out at all, don't be shy about hitting that like button down below, as it definitely helps this video and the channel out a lot, quite a bit, and I appreciate it. So with the WF-1000XM4, Sony actually went the sustainable route here, where every single piece of the packaging was cardboard or paper. I thought that was kind of a nice touch. But you'll get the case, the buds, 2 additional size foam ear tips, a USB Type-A to USB Type-C charging cable, and then some manuals. The case itself is a bit shorter than the AirPods Pro case in height, but it's just slightly longer, and it's also a smidge wider. It's still small enough to fit inside a pocket, but I do find it to be a little bit more noticeable than the AirPods Pro case. And on the back of the case is a USB-C charging port, and it does also support wireless charging. There's an LED indicator that lights up when you open up the case, and the buds are held in place with some really strong magnets. The buds themselves, well, they aren't small. For comparison, here they are next to the much smaller AirPods Pro, the new Beats Studio buds, as well as the Jaybird Vista 2s. And I suppose now is a good time to bring up fit. So my ears are fairly average sized, I would think, and they take just a little bit more effort than some other earbuds to get them situated just right inside my ears. However, once they are situated, they're surprisingly secure. I use them for running, cycling, weight training, as well as high-intensity interval training, and they stayed put just fine for all those activities. They don't have the wings like what you'll find on the Jaybird Vista 2s, but they do have a large round portion that takes up a good portion of space in your ears, and I just made sure that they were really tucked into my ears tightly to get the best security. And although they are pretty secure, I still wasn't comfortable using these for mountain biking, just because with mountain biking, things can just happen, and I'd be pretty sad losing this expensive of a pair of earbuds. So with mountain biking, I still resort to my tried and true Jaybird Terra Pros, where I wear just one earbud and then loop the other earbud around my helmet strap, so there's very little risk of losing them. And in terms of comfort, since they are larger and will take up more space in your ears, they definitely aren't quite as comfortable as some other earbuds, but even so, I could still wear them for hours without experiencing any ear fatigue, but they definitely are noticeable, unlike something like the AirPods Pro, where you kind of forget that you're wearing these. And then you can also customize the fit with 3 different size foam ear tips. I use the medium-sized tips, and those fit me just fine. But I do wish that they would have included some silicone ear tips, especially at this price range, but even for somebody like me who prefers silicone ear tips, I found the foam ear tips to be very comfortable. For controls, these buds are touch sensitive with no physical buttons, and I found that the portion of the earbud with the touch sensitive surface was situated just right, where it's a large enough target to tap with your finger, but it doesn't take up the entire outer surface of the bud, which could then lead to accidental presses. Pretty much all the time I could adjust the fit as well as insert them and remove them without accidentally hitting the touch sensitive surface. And one thing that helped is I got into the habit of pushing them into my ears using this little interesting gold portion on the outside of the earbud. In terms of what you can do with the controls, you can customize the controls for the left and right earbuds separately, where you can toggle between the ambient sound control settings, as well as this kind of neat feature that they call quick attention, where you can hold on the button, which basically pauses the music and allows ambient sound to come into the headphones, like if someone comes up and starts talking to you. There's also playback controls like play and pause, skipping tracks, going back to the previous track, and enabling your voice assistant of choice, or you can choose to have an earbud have volume controls, or you can just turn the controls completely off. These earbuds also do have pretty good battery life with up to 8 hours of playback using active noise cancellation, and if you're not using one of the sound isolation modes, you can get up to 12 hours, and then the case provides an additional 16 hours. Now, I think the main reason anyone's going to be considering these headphones is going to be the sound quality. And like I mentioned earlier, these are some of the best sounding true wireless earbuds I've ever experienced. Every time I listen to them, I'm simply blown away at how good they are. Even with the standard out-of-the-box sound profile, the low end is kind of amazing, and it's kind of unbelievable the amount of bass that's coming out of earbuds with 6mm drivers, and there aren't even over-the-ear headphones. The highs are very crisp without being piercing, vocals are incredibly clear, and you can hear so many different subtleties with lots of different types of music that you probably won't hear with other types of headphones. So it may sound like I'm describing a fine wine, but they're crisp, have lots of depth, have a rich low end, and may have a hint of sophistication. And if the default sound profile isn't to your liking, there's a bunch of built-in presets that you can use to increase the high end, the low end, or vocals, and you can also set up a whole bunch of custom equalizer modes if you'd like. And the crazy thing about these earbuds is how they can replicate the encapsulating as well as expansive sound that you can get out of over-the-ear headphones, and this is just with standard fidelity tracks. But when you listen to high fidelity tracks or masters from Tidal with the 360 reality audio optimization, that really showed what these can do, and the sound quality went from like an A to a solid A+. And then for sound isolation modes, there's active noise cancellation with wind reduction, transparency mode where you can even adjust the amount of ambient sound that you like to come through. There's also a setting where you can focus on voices in transparency mode, and then you can just turn everything off where it's just passive noise cancellation. The passive noise cancellation was good for me since these took up most of the space in my ears, so they did a good job at sealing out outside sounds. And then for active noise cancellation, for everyday use like walking around outside or using them inside the gym, the noise cancellation is amazing. It's seriously some of the best out there. But when there's wind noise, like when you're riding a bike at higher speeds, I found that the standard ANC didn't perform super well where the wind was ported through the earbuds. But what's great is that they have a wind reduction mode, and this mode worked surprisingly well for eliminating wind noise. And then transparency mode is also quite good for everyday use without wind noise. It's not quite as good as the AirPods Pro, but still quite good. Unfortunately, transparency mode does amplify wind noise like a lot of other transparency modes with a lot of other headphones, so I can't necessarily recommend transparency mode for cycling. So for me, for running as well as the gym, I'll wear both earbuds using either the active noise cancellation or the transparency modes. And then for cycling, I'll wear just one earbud so I can still hear my surroundings, and then use the active noise cancellation with wind reduction or just turn the sound isolation modes completely off. And then for calls, there's going to be 2 microphones on each earbud, and they have this feature called beam forming technology, which is intended to pick up your voice better.
This is a microphone test of the Sony WF-1000XM4 earbuds inside in a quiet environment. And this is a microphone test of the Sony WF-1000XM4 earbuds outside with a little bit of wind.
The microphones seem to do their job, but I wouldn't call them amazing by any means, and it does seem like Apple still takes the cake on call quality with the AirPods Pro. They're still totally usable and still better than a lot of other options out there, but they're just not exceptional. These earbuds also have bone conduction sensors, which are able to detect when you're talking, where it can pause whatever you have playing and it switches to an ambient mode, which allows outside sound to come in. And this feature works extremely well. It pauses the music within a second or two when I started to talk, and it was super consistent for me. And these earbuds also do have in-ear detection where when you remove them from your ears, it'll automatically pause the music. And then when you put them back into your ears, it'll resume playback. These earbuds use Bluetooth 5.2, and I found the connection to be very solid after a few firmware updates. So the first initial firmware versions, they weren't all that good, so just make sure that your firmware is nice and fresh for the most solid connection. But just note that these do not have multi-point Bluetooth pairing, so you won't be able to have these paired up to more than one device at one time. And then with watches, I didn't have any issues using them with music-capable watches like the Forerunner 945 LTE, the Apple Watch Series 6, or the Phoenix 6 Sapphire, so good to go there. So let's face it, $280, that is way up there for a pair of earbuds, but are they worth it? Well, the sound quality is bonkers. I mean, it is so good, and the ANC is good, the transparency mode is good, and I was also very impressed with the wind reduction mode with the ANC. But as earbuds for sports, I think it's going to come down to whether or not these fit your ear. So for me, they do fit after a little bit of initial effort, but once they're in, they're in. I do wish that they had a little bit better water resistant rating than just IPX4, but I haven't had any issues over the last couple months that I've been using them. Anyhow, if you found the information in this video useful, make sure to hit that like button down below and also subscribe to the channel for lots more sports technology videos that are coming soon. In the meantime, have fun out there, and we will see you in the next video.